Some people waited in line for hours just trying to fill up their tanks. Others went to multiple gas stations in the area only to realize once they got there, many stations have run out of gas. 3, 4, okay, Randy, we'll have more on this on our website at WWAY. Oh, I can't do this at the same time. But we'll have more on this on our website at WWAYTV3.com. Live in Wilmington, Peyton Furtado. I'm just going to keep doing this.
Good to have you out here.
Thank you. It's so weird to be behind the desk.
You know what? You're doing a great job.
Thank you. Let's not jinx it. And I'm Peyton Furtado, live in Wrightsville Beach to see how some community members are chilling out this New Year's morning. Oh my gosh! Oh my God! It's a job seekers market here in North Carolina, and many local businesses like Wing and Fish Company and Chillout find themselves competing for applications. Allergy season is upon us, but are masks having any effect on our symptoms? And though for some it might seem like ages ago, for the citizens here in Fair Bluff, it was the day their hometown became a ghost town. Early on in the pandemic, pet adoption rates skyrocketed, but now in the U.S. and even in the Cape Fear, pandemic pets like this one are getting put back up for adoption at shelters weekly. So this is a little bit nerdy. Have you ever seen The Witcher? It's on Netflix.
Yes, okay, I have.
Really? Okay, so I'm going as Yennefer and my fiance is going as The Witcher.
All right.
What are you going as?
I'm hoping my fiance will do a soap and a loofah with me. Don't ask. Don't ask.
This is a big deal to many local businesses like the one right behind me. It could hopefully mean longer hours and in turn more revenue. Well, since Governor Cooper made that announcement, there's been a little confusion as to where you can go without wearing a mask, especially since private businesses in the area do have the right to decide.
With the very cool assignment, she got to go to one of those lessons. Hi, Peyton. Why bring this event to our area?
Hey, Randy. Well, this is the event's 12th year, but first time here in the Cape Fear. And though we are surrounded by beaches, a lot of kids in our area don't have easy access to things like pools and swimming lessons. Planes, trains, and automobiles. Wilmington used to have access to all three, and after a recent Amtrak proposal, might again.
The last passenger train to come through town was actually in the 60s. And after that, the Atlantic coastline ripped up all of the passenger tracks and moved down to Florida.
But after President Joe Biden unveiled his $2 trillion infrastructure plan, Amtrak revealed one of their own. One of the goals, to connect a passenger route from Raleigh to Wilmington.
Any investments in transportation infrastructure right now will be a great addition to our economy.
Mike Kozlowski with the Wilmington Metropolitan Planning Organization says the city has been in talks for a while to reinvigorate the railroad system. One proposed site is the abandoned rail bed behind Brunswick Street. Residents near the rail bed are split on the possibility.
I came from Cary, so I, for a long time, have wanted something like this. Wilmington really started to grow once I-40 was created, and so I think that would be really beneficial. It would help the Wilmington economy.
We're kind of on the fence with it. We're concerned about noise with the trains, and as well as property value.
I think trains are a great way to go about. I've traveled extensively in Europe, and trains are very important.
Amtrak's 15-year plan will hinge on whether Biden's plan goes through Congress and whether he secures necessary funding. The NCDOT stated in part, "We appreciate President Biden recognizes the great importance of transportation infrastructure. That includes welcoming new innovations, including expanded rail service. We will follow his proposal as it makes its way through Congress, the funding ultimately determining whether the project is derailed or gets the green light." In New Hanover County, Peyton Furtado, WWAY News. Golfing with friends, you don't expect to run into a movie crew, and you certainly don't expect to get discovered. And yet that's exactly what happened to one basketball coach from the Cape Fear here at Ironclad Golfing. Sunday, Ray Beatty and a friend arrived at Ironclad Golfing to play golf. Little did the Cape Fear Academy basketball coach know they'd run into a camera crew.
And so they standing around, I hit a great shot into the green. When I get up there, I said, "What are you guys doing?" They said, "We're filming a movie."
A comedy about a ragtag group of guys who try to save their rundown golf course. Beatty says producers asked he and his son to come back the next day to be extras. Monday morning came, Beatty arrived early, and one of the lead actors never showed up.
And they're like, Ray, how would you like to be in the movie? And I'm like, yeah, an extra? And he said, no. A guy didn't show up, one of the cast members, and we need someone.
And just like that, Beatty was in the movie, playing a gifted golfer not allowed to join a golf club because of the color of his skin, becoming the Motley team's ace in the hole.
And I've worn, different hats. I've been in the military, teaching high school, coaching high school basketball, and now I'm acting. Imagine that.
Filming for Beatty started Monday and will go until the end of next week. Audiences should get to see his character and the rest of the cast take on the rival group to save their course in about 6 months.
Only in Woommywood would this happen, So maybe I'll be a big star like Donna Gregory or somebody like that later,
In Hampstead,
that's a wrap.
Peyton Furtado, WWAY News. Members of Palestinian and Israeli communities here in the Cape Fear have watched the violence play out on their TV screens and over phone calls with loved ones still there, living in fear.
It's hard to see entire neighborhoods being demolished by the Israeli army or the Israeli fighter jets, with so many children, and thousands of them are now are being homeless.
And my brother needs to wake up his 3 sons in the middle of the night and actually run to the neighbor's house because they don't have their own shelter.
This new explosion of violence stems most recently from several incidents involving Palestinian refugees evicted from East Jerusalem houses because of a law stating they're not allowed to own land there, and Israelis dispersing Arab crowds during a religious holiday to keep the peace. Local business owner Musa Agil says incidents like these are being used to treat Palestinians like second-class citizens.
I'm Jewish, you're not, and God gave me this land. Of course, it's very hard to swallow. I'm a Muslim. My God did not tell me that. So.
Israeli citizen Nama Heyman feels for Palestinians, but believes Hamas, a group that is recognized as a terrorist organization in the U.S., has used fear to tighten tensions.
Hijacked Gaza. And I feel bad about the Palestinians that live there. I'm sure that most of them want peace, like Israelis. We want peace, we want to live together.
A professor of international studies at UNCW says the conflict goes all the way back to the 1880s. The fight over land, religious sites, and overall identity as nation. He says in this particular case, Israel and Hamas are fighting fire with fire.
What Hamas is doing is wrong and bad, and they shouldn't do it. But the Israeli response is bad, and they shouldn't do it as well.
Though today peace seems out of reach, many on both sides still hope to achieve it. Both Agil and Heyman believe compromises will have to be made.